Whether it's a community partner looking at our property to host an event, like when the Ministerial Alliance came to see if this would be a great spot to host a community-wide day of service back in September, or a family touring our learning center to see if this is the right place for their kid to learn and grow in faith, or a visitor, a guest, a new member to the congregation, it is not uncommon for someone who visits for the first time to remark how big and nicely upkept our building is. Really, it is, right? It stands out. It makes an impression. And what a gift we have as a resource to share with our community and to carry out our ministry for the sake of the gospel. It is a joy to have a large and wonderful space, a place for meeting and connecting, for worshiping and giving thanks to God, for learning and growing in faith, for gathering to serve our neighbors as we quilt or prepare meals or build ramps or so much more. And also, the most remarkable, beautiful, and wonderful part of Christ Lutheran Church are the people who gather here to do God's work. It's often the most beautiful, wonderful, remarkable parts of our life together that go mostly unseen, right? I mean, not everybody has made it in to tie some knots on a quilt that will go to somewhere across the world and maybe be somebody's only possession after they've lost everything. I mean, I'm thinking of the acts of generosity and faithfulness that occur here in this place. The conversation of mutual comfort between two who are grieving that happens briefly in the narthex before or after worship. The transformation of heart that will lead someone to go forth and reconcile a relationship, to gain the courage to take that first step towards forgiveness. The person who stops in at lunchtime when even most of the staff is away and out of the office to drop off canned food that will bless a hungry family through the caring place. Someone who stops in to offer a check because they realize they had a little more that they wanted to give and go toward God's work that no one besides maybe Sandy will ever hear about. The child who speaks a new thought that gets carried forth in the mind of an 80-year-old. The 75 or 80-year-old who shares wisdom and their story of faith with one of our confirmands as they serve as a mentor. Jesus sees and pays attention to the small, nearly unseen act of big generosity and confidence and trust in God. The others who are there talking are amazed by how beautiful and wonderful the building is and all of the fantastic things that people have dedicated to God. Jesus sees the human transformation and the beauty of an act of faith and trust in God. The others stare at the beautiful building. Today, we make a commitment to give to the work of God in this place among these people and through this church for the sake of the world that God so loves. This is not just about the things seen and counted, though I sure hope you've already had a chance and that you will go see some of those things that we can count. Our ministry milestones out on the table of things God has done through this congregation this year. But we give to God trusting in all the things we cannot see. But the things that we know by faith Christ will bring to bear in and through this congregation. Like Paul shares in that, one of the first stewardship sermons ever written. You heard it, 2 Corinthians 8. Like Paul shares with the church in Corinth, there are good works begun that we want to see through. There are also things yet to begin that we know will take root. And each of us seeks to give from our own capacity. Not that we would be driven into hardship while others flourish, but a matter of that giving equally means each of us gives at the capacity we are able to give, so that those who have a present abundance can meet the needs of those who have a present need, and so that others who have an abundance can meet your present need. These commitments of time, talent, and financial resources are an act of faith, not because of the dollar amount written or because of the big, beautiful things that will be created and seen, but because you have prayerfully considered all that God has given you. And together, we are entrusting what God has given us back to God, not knowing all the fruits that will take root and grow, but because we know when we give what we have to God, God blesses and multiplies it to do more than we could ever ask or imagine. Thanks be to God for a God like that. Amen.